Hey guys, here's Bruce, BPMODS founder and designer, and today we're going to show you guys our brand new pre-built coil tank, the Pioneer S, and also the TMD pre-built coils. Maybe you will ask me, BPMODS already done some great design on the rebuildable atomizers like the Pioneer RTA, the Shield RTA, the Pursuit RDA. Why you want to make a pre-built coil tank? Cause first, it's a lazy time. When I see to the market, more and more old players are getting lazy, especially when they are in a hurry, go out for a dinner or a party or maybe a girl waiting for him in a hotel. They have no time to build an atomizer for him. And also they don't want to get back to the port system because the flavor of the port system is right? And second is a freshman. Yes, it's freshman. For you, an experienced for player, maybe you will say, build an atomizer, get a good experience on it. It's very easy. But for freshmen, it's fucking difficult because so many things will influence the experience on a rebuildable atomizer, like the material of the coil, the position, low or high of the coil, the size of the coil, the diameter of the coil, the amount of the cotton, the shape of the cotton. All of them will influence the flavors. If you do one thing wrong, the flavor getting shit. Right? Maybe a freshman, he built an atomizer 3 or 5 times and can't get a correct experience. He will say, oh fuck it, I want to get back to my port system. The experience on it is even worse than port, right? That's the reason why I want to make a pre-built coil tank. And maybe you will still ask me, pre-built coil tank is already an old product in the market. Why you still want to make it? Because I'm a player. I want player flavors. I have already tested many big company or big brands pre-built coils. Especially in 2022, they always use mesh, right? It's so sweet, so sweet. No analyze on it. Maybe you ask me, what's the analyze of the flavor? It's like the FEV, Flash E Vaporous flavor. It means I can taste different flavor in one juice, okay? So if a pre-built coil are so sweet, it will cover other flavors. That's the point. So that time, I want to make a pre-built coil that can do like 80% or 90% close to a rebuildable atomizer's flavor. Yes, I want a player flavor, not just a user flavor. Maybe you think design a pre-built coil tank or pre-built coil is very easy. No, this shit is fucking most difficult thing in the weapon industry. At the time when I designed the Pioneer V1 RTA, I started doing the research on the pre-built coils. I spent 2 years on this shit, you know? So it's really hard time to choose a different cotton, to make the correct coils, to get the correct flavors. And when I get the correct coils for the flavor, I found the life of the coil is so short. I should choose all different cottons to make the coil life getting longer. So it's really a tough time. And right now, after 2 years, I finally released the Pioneer S and the TMD coils. So right now, let's get to the close video. Let's see what's inside the box. Okay, first of all, let's see the package. Here is the tank package, here is the coils package. You can see BPMODS TMD pre-built coils. TMD means taste, massive, delicacy. So in Chinese, if we want to say something is fucking good, we will also say it's TMD good. So we hope every customers who use our TMD coils will say it's TMD good. And the TMD coils is for Pioneer S, also compatible with PMP and GTX tanks. And here you can see we have 3 different kinds of coil. RDL 0.55 coil, and MTL 1.05 coil, and this mega flavor 0.75. Actually it's 0.78 coil, but right now we still didn't release this coil. Okay, still in research. And then we see the tank. On the cover we will see Pioneer S pre-built coil tank. Here is all we have in the package. 1 tank, 1 MTL coil, 1 DL coil. By the way, the MTL 1.05 coil is by ceramic. The DL 0.55 coil is by cotton. And 1 extra drip tip. Remember, whatever size, short or long, and whatever color, DLC or stainless steel, they all have 2 drip tips. 1 DL drip tip, so wide, and 1 tight, long MTL drip tip for better experience. Okay, and some extra O-rings and 2 extra screws for screw the chimney. And very important thing, the user manual. Why I say a user manual is very important? Because it's a must-read user manual. Please must read this introduction manual. Okay, this tells you how to use it when you use a new coil, and this tell you how to figure out with a cotton flavor or ceramic flavor. And this thing tell you when you use a mud in a very low battery, it will make leaking. And this remind you to clean the condensation in the deck. And here remind you when you first put this coil into the tank, you should put some juice on it. And the last is a warning. Please read this manual before you use it, because I'm afraid some freshman, if he don't know how to use a pre-built coil tank correctly, he will get a bad experience. Okay, especially our TMD coil, we use special cotton and ceramic to make a long life. Okay, now let's focus on the tanks. Okay, here you can see 4 different tanks. The stainless steel long, the stainless steel short, the DLC long, and the DLC short. All with the PCTG tank on it. So if you want to put some cold or ice juice into the tank, don't worry, it will crack. Okay, PCTG is a very good material, so don't worry. Now let's pick up one. Now I pick up a totally clear one. You can see it's really clear and beautiful, right? On the dip we have some information. BPMODS since 2020, Pioneer S. For the drip tip, you can take it off and change to whatever drip tip you want. Open the top cap. You can see a SN number here. And the top cap is a flat top cap. You can see the gap here to release the air pressure. So when you refill juice, don't worry about the air pressure or pressure the juice coming to the coil makes leaking. Here we can see the juice hole. Also 2 screws here. So when you want to disassemble everything to clean your tank or wash your tank, remember a step. Release these 2 screws. Take this O-ring off. Then pressure the middle. Okay? The chimney will get out. And also you want to assemble it. Put the chimney on and put on this O-ring. Tight these 2 screws or down. But normally I don't recommend you wash the tank and disassemble everything. I mean, you can just wash the tank and make it dry, no need to disassemble everything. And here you can see the AFC. We have big hole double side for DL, and we also have the small holes for the MTL users. Twist the deck, we can release it, it's very smooth. Okay, and here you can see a black O-ring inside the chimney. When you wash the tank, don't lose this O-ring, it's very important, okay? Don't lose this O-ring, black O-ring. But don't worry, we have 2 extra black O-ring here. If you lost one, you can put it on. And then put a coil, okay, into the tank. But remember, before you put the coil in, it's a dry coil. Remember, pour some juice, make it wet. Please make sure the cotton inside is all wet, or taking the juice, or maybe you will get a dry heat at the first puff. I don't want you to get a bad experience like that, so please make sure the cotton taking the juice, then put the coil into the tank. Remember, when you use a new coil, put some juice on it, on the O-ring, and then put it into the tank. I think you can understand this, okay? Because if you want to have a baby with your boy or girlfriend, you should know that. Put it in, okay, put it on the deck. Fill the juice. Okay, now let's whip it. Sorry guys, I forget to show you guys the MTL 1.05 coil. It's a ceramic coil, you can see inside. It's a ceramic with the cotton. So when you use a new one, also make sure the ceramic take in all the juice. Okay, makes the dry coil wet. Then put it into the tank. Screw the deck. Put the juice. Now you get an empty pre-built coil tank. Also, I want to remind you guys, because the TMD coil can compatible with the PMP and GTX tank, so you also can use it on the open polymers like this or this. But I highly don't recommend you do that. Cause first, this kind of small polymer, they didn't have a powerful chipset can give you enough power. Second is, this kind of products didn't have a correct flavor system. What's the flavor system? It's like this kind of product didn't have a real chimney like this. And they can change the drip tip to give you the correct experience, especially on the MTL. I think you can use the PMP or GTX coil on our tank, but I don't recommend you guys use the TMD coil on the polymers like this kind of. Okay? Let's get back on the camera and let's whip it. Okay, I believe everyone will know the details about the Pioneer S. And now, before we whip it, let me show you guys what should we do before we whip a new coil. First, choose a low wattage, because if your coil is still dry and you use a high wattage, the coil will burn immediately. And then take a slight puff. To check out if we get any dry heats or the cotton flavors. If we still feel something wrong, close the airflow. Suck it without pressing the fire button. The air pressure will press the juice coming to the coil, make it okay, and then open the airflow, take another slight puff. Make sure the flavor is okay, then we can whip it. The 0.55 is an RDL coil, a little bit tight but very smooth airflow, and you got rich flavor from it. Pay attention to the word rich. It's not very sweet. I like it because if the coil is so sweet, it will cover other flavors from the juice. Such as this juice is my favorite deer juice. strawberry cheesecake from the Off the Record. It's American juice. So when I whip it on the front, I can taste a little bit cream, cheese flavor. On the middle, I can feel the fresh, sour strawberry flavor. And on the last, we have a little bit bread cake flavors. So that's what I mean, rich flavors. We can taste the different flavors from one juice. That's also what I mean, the player flavor. Maybe you ask me why you don't make some low resistance pre-built coil, like 0.3 or 0.15 coils, because yes, this kind of coil can bring big, huge cloud, but come with a big, huge cloud is a high temperature. The high temperature will make the sweetness more large, and also it will bond the flavor. Maybe this kind of coil can bring huge cloud, but I think this kind of coil is more for single flavor juice. But for me, I want a player flavor. I want a more rich flavor. So I want to make the resistance a little bit higher than normal DL coils. That's also what I do in the Pioneer RTA or some single coil RDAs. I don't like very low resistance. Forget to tell you guys, when I whip the DL coil, I normally use 33.3 wattage. Yeah, it's a middle wattage, and it can bring me rich flavor, but not so hot cloud. Okay? And now let's talk about the M-tier coil, 1.05 coil. So when you use a new M-tier coil, you also can repeat what I do for the DL coil. And this 1.05 coil made by Coil and ceramic. But the flavor is like FEV, I mean the flashy Webpro RTA's flavor, and also it's like the high-end M-tier or mesh RDTA's flavor. This mesh is not like a net mesh, like what other brands do in the pre-built coils. This mesh is, they use the mesh to replace the cotton, taking the juice in these very expensive high-end RDTAs, okay? So these kind of coils, they have more analyze for the juice. So why I'm so focused on the analyze for the juice? Because when we do empty style whip, it's more like drinking wine. We need to taste, feel all different flavors from the same juice more clearly, okay? More clearly. That's most important for the M-tier. That's what I personally think, okay? Such as this juice, this is one of my favorite M-tier juice, apple tobacco from the Shaky. I can taste the sour, fresh, green apples flavor very clearly, and a little bit tobacco flavor, a little bit, also very clearly. It's not very sweet, but it's very clearly, you know, such as what I say, if so sweet, it will cover and mix all flavors. I don't like so sweet. A little bit sweet and very clear flavors is okay. As I said, I want a flavor more close to a rebuilt flavor. So that's also the reason why a reputable products design company now make a pre-built coil tank, because we want to give the reputable flavor. I mean 80 or 90% similar to the reputable flavor to the old lazy players. Also the freshmen who cannot build an atomizer correctly. Okay, I don't want to talk so much because everyone has their own mouse. Every mouse is different. the last important thing I wanna say is the coil life. It's very important. Why we spend 2 years on the TMD coil? Because we spend some time finding the coil material, finding the correct flavors. But the most time we spend is on finding a good material for the cutting. When we get the correct flavor from the coil, but I found the coil just can use like 3 tanks. You know, it's ridiculous. So we spend a long time to finding a good cutting to longer the coil life. Finally, we find it. When you use the M-tier coil and you use a clean juice, I mean not so sweet, will not make the cutting dark so quick. This kind of clean juice, you can use like 20 to 30 ml. And if you use a dirty juice, it's like 15 ml, the coil will be die. And for the DL coil, everyone know DL style, we're running out of the juice so quick. So for the DL coil, you can use like 40 to 30 ml, I mean the clean juice, 40 to 30 ml. Yeah, it's nearly 1 bottle of the juice. But if you use a dirty juice, it's like 30 ml or maybe 20 ml, it will be done. Also, a longer coil life will save your money. And also our price of the coil will be cheaper than the PMP and the GTX coil. It will also save you, the customers, money. We hope you guys can buy one and try it. Give me your feedback. Tell the other players that I say the truth or not. Okay, finally, I want to say when we make out the TMD coils, we're already doing some other designs around the TMD coil, such as the billet box bridge for the TMD coil. We also make one for the dot mat AIO, and also here is our cute, pretty 50 wattage VW pod mat for the TMD coil. And also, maybe you think a $30 pre-built coil tank is a little bit expensive because the Pioneer S is our first pre-built coil tank. We want to make it pretty. You all know that pretty means expensive, but don't worry, okay? We will make a cheap one. It will call it the Sure S. The appearance is from the Sure RTA. Right now on the market, I see everyone loves the appearance of the Sure RTA, so we will make a cheap pre-built coil tank from the appearance of the Sure RTA. So, hope you guys will love it, and thanks for watching the video and supporting our brand. We'll see you on next video. Keep your eyes open. We will give you guys more good designs later. See you guys.